Hey, sports fans, it's Mo Carter. Every high school football team in the Tennessee Valley has a goal of hoisting up a blue map at this year's Super 7 in Birmingham. And in order to get there, you have to do work in the off-season. This summer, the FOX54 sports team chatted with a number of squads about their upcoming season. And you can check out some of your favorite teams right now on another edition of the First Down Friday Night Preview Series.
Like you said, I'm Coach Floyd. My 6th year as the head coach. 10th year overall at Cherokee, so I've been there a while. So excited for this year. Great summer workout program happened this year. I think our numbers were better than all the years previous I've been in the head coach. So losing a big senior class like we did last year, I was a little worried about it, but these young guys and the older guys showed up this summer and really had a good summer workout program. You introduce my players here. Right here I have Porter Johnson. He kicks and plays offensive line. Next is Kimmy Fuqua. He plays running back and DB. And then the end down there, Javarian Davis Wu. He plays running back, receiver, and DB. Well, it's just been, when I first started out, we're young. I mean, I was playing 8th graders on varsity, 7th graders on varsity, and just getting the guys in the school that wasn't playing, getting them involved was probably the biggest success I've had. I do like to hang my hat that I usually can get anybody in the school to play if I just talk to them and bug them enough. So, and just a summer workout program. I mean, we had summer workouts even before I was the head coach, and when we had the talent, you know, they were going to come and, you know, put the work in. And when we didn't have the talent, you know, it kind of fell off a little bit, and that might have been some of us coaches' faults as well, just because we're trying to figure things out of who we're going to play where. And but man, just getting these kids to play, and we saw a kid that I've been bugging all last year. This morning when we were coming down here, I saw him at the drugstore, and I was like, look, I said, you told me you was going to give me 1 week. You was going to come out and try it. So he said, I'll be there, coach. So just bugging the kids. I mean, you got to shake the tree down, go into the neighborhoods, find people that don't go to Cherokee, that live in Cherokee, and get those guys out. But it's just really, man, the kids have put the work in, and they realize that they can have success. And like I said, we graduated 12 seniors last year that have been playing since those 7th, 8th grade days, and we still got several guys that can really play the game. So I'm not looking for a regression going into this year. I think we're going to, you know, keep this trend going and make the playoffs and, you know, win some more games.
So last year y'all started 5-2. How did that help build y'all season last year? Knowing you had a tough late season stretch, but start 5-2 helped y'all be able to push it.
Man, it was great. We had several injuries. I think Porter got hurt the first game against Carver Heights, so he was out pretty much most of the season. And that 5-2 start off was, I mean, we like to start off hot, and that was great. I mean, I think the best time we've actually had that good of a record going into that 7th game was probably the 2017 season when we made it to the 3rd round of the playoffs. And we had some injuries. Wu's brother Tay, that graduated this past year, got hurt in the homecoming game, and him and his brother went off against Vina, and each scored, I think, 2 touchdowns apiece. And you know, and they stayed the week with me because their parents had to go out of town for their brother's Army graduation, so they stayed with me. So we got to win this game, and Vina was coming to that game undefeated, so we knew we had to beat Vina to make sure we had that playoff spot secure. And he woke up the next morning and said, my knee hurts. And I'm like, well, you didn't do nothing. I mean, he finally ran and scored some touchdowns, but he ended up tearing his meniscus. And he was out until the first round of the playoffs. And towards the end of the schedule back there, you know, we had some losses that really on paper we shouldn't have lost. But we just had some injuries. But yeah, going into that season with a 5-2 record was big for these guys.
It seems like the biggest game for y'all the last few years has been Shoals Christian. You know, haven't never beat them about 6 or 7 years now. What is it about getting over that hump with Shoals Christian and beating them, putting myself in a better position with the playoffs like this?
I wish I had the answer to that, because last year, I mean, we talked about it at the media day. I said, we got to beat Shoals Christian, because Shoals Christian beat us year 4 and they got into the playoffs. And I knew Shoals wasn't going to be as good as they was in the past year, and had those injuries, and I'll take blame for it, because I think, I didn't hype them up enough. And it seemed like in that game, everything that could go wrong went wrong. Our starting quarterback, he actually had an AC joint sprain, and he wanted to play, so I let him go out there and play. He probably shouldn't have been on the field. The backup quarterback just hadn't had enough experience. He came in the Phillips game after the quarterback got ejected and won that game for us. I think I take a lot of blame for it, because I think our guys went in that game saying, no matter what, we're going to come out here and we're going to win this game. And when it got tough and things didn't go right, there wasn't really an answer to it. I think Wu scored the only touchdown in that game. I think it was like a 70-something yard touchdown pass he caught, and it's just I wish I had the answer to that. I mean, they've been the kryptonite of us, and on paper, like I said, we're stacked talent-wise, and we beat everybody that beat them, and we like Vina beat them pretty bad, and we blew out Vina. I'm like, there's no way we can lose these guys, and I take responsibility for it. So it's just hopefully we can get over that hump this year.
I got a question for the players, real quick. Did y'all know the late Jimmy Bain, and if so, can you speak about what he meant to the Cherokee community as a fan of all?
He meant a lot. He was Cherokee's biggest fan. He was there when, nobody else would show up, but, we still had a lot of people there. But, when you think about Cherokee and you think of the fan base, your mind immediately goes to him. So he had a big impact on, just Cherokee as a community, but, also was a big supporter.
When I got here, fortunately he wasn't here, but based off what other people told me, a big inspiration in Cherokee, the community, and I wish I had the chance to meet him.
Yes, he was a great person. I miss him a lot. So yeah.
Guys, if you could nickname a certain player or someone on your team spark plug, who would that be? Who would be the spark plug of the Cherokee team this
I would probably say Kimby. Last year he didn't play, but when he did play, he did a spectacular job. So I would definitely have to say Kimby.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that too. He's a great runner, and we'll just be practicing, and all I can hear is the wind go by when he's running. So it's going to be great to have him this year.
One quick one for the Kimby. Has anyone ever said you resemble a running back that was pretty good by the name of Eric Dickerson?
No, sir.
Here is a senior, Elijah Jones. Over here is a junior, Ricardo Lopez. Right beside him is another junior, Jaden Heiss. And on the far end is a sophomore, Sean Blevins.
Coach, you've been hired, this is that kind of show forward. You've been hired for a few months now. What's been the best part about being in Harper County so far?
Just the kids' attitudes. The kids work out hard. They never complain. Things run smooth. People in the community help out.
Coach, what's it like to come in first year in such a program that's been around for a long time, got a lot of seasons under the belt, a lot of story. What's it like to come in and be at the helm of that program?
It feels good, just to be a part of a rich tradition and try to help build it back up to where it used to be. A lot of excitement.
Coach, tell me
me about some of the things that the program's been doing this summer to get ready for the upcoming season.
Mainly, we've been working on lifting weights and conditioning, trying to build up the conditioning part of the program and the strength, also the discipline part. Got to be disciplined to be successful. And, you know, we're about to get to the part of watching film. Once they learn how to watch film the correct way, we'll play a lot faster and be a lot better.
For any of the players, what type of impact do you think Coach Bond has already made, not only for the program, but also for you as a player in general?
I think he gives us a lot of encouragement, and he teaches us stuff that we didn't know, including our fundamentals and our discipline.
He, like he said, encouragement really helps us do stuff, and has a really taught me to be disciplined and always be smart.
I really love the way he just came in and got right to it. I like he pursuing it really well. I love the way he's doing it. He's pushing us hard, making sure we're gonna be great with him. I like him.
I like the way that he pushes us to make sure that we're doing the best we can.
Coach, as a former player, how do you think that helps you on the field, coaching some of the players, and then the question to the players, how do you think Coach Bonds relates to y'all as a team, as individuals, and helping y'all improve as individuals and as a team?
As a former player, just being able to relate, just going through the same thing they had to do with conditioning and lifting weights, and then, you know, the ups and downs of everyday life. I can relate it to the kids. You know, they might have something going on at home. You can kind of pick up and sense things when things are not right and try to call them in the office, talk to them. The biggest part, too, is academic part I always talk to them about, making sure you got your academics in line. So, you know, if you happen to go to college, you know, some of your education can be paid for through your academic part, along with scholarship money.
Coach, this is not your first head coaching job. You've been at Tanner for about 6 seasons. What do you hope to bring from that experience at Tanner to Copper County?
Just pretty much the same type of things, just hard work. Hard work always pays off. If you work hard, you're going to get the results. It's always a process, you know what I'm saying? So we want to build it where all the guys, like I tell them all the time, I want to get it where all the guys can lift around 300 pounds, hang cleaning over 250, and then that's the goal, and then being in tip-top shape. And then also you got to understand the game. Once you understand film, things will slow down for you.
And not to look ahead, you played Tanner in week 2 this year. How's that going to feel playing some of your former players, possibly, and former assistant coaches, possibly?
Just like any other game, you know, I focus on the team we playing at head, which is Wilson. But same. I think he had a question for y'all, didn't he? Didn't you have a question?
Yeah. So for the players, how does Coach Bond's experience as a player help y'all as a team and as individuals?
Well, I think he makes it feel like home to us, and then he gives us more experience from his past, and he brings it to us.
Well, his experience as a player, really hard work. He worked hard. He's showing us how to do it. It helps in the long run.
Yeah, he's really hard working. Like sometimes when we work out, he'll go in there, he'll get a couple reps in that bench. A big, strong man. I like it. He's a big player, great guy.
He helps us see the field in a way that he has seen it before, so it helps us understand whether we're doing better.
Another one for the players. So what is it like growing up out there and, watching these guys above you play ball and finally be able to put on the jersey yourselves and all of a sudden you're that guy carrying that name across your chest?
It feels great. As I watched as they played, I really wanted it. And now since I'm getting this chance, I'm going to take the best of it.
Well, what I think is there's some big shoes to fill when it comes to Colbert County because we got a lot of tradition there.
Yeah, same thing like Elijah says. Enrique, it's a lot of players that helped, built up on us last year. We had some great seniors that were great role models for us, really pushed us to where we need to be and helped us be where we need to be now. And now we just got to put the shoes on and go with it.
I love to continue the tradition of what I've watched my brother and other players do.
Well, I got another question both for the players and coaches. I know y'all traded both sides of the river. You know, is there a team that, on an individual basis, maybe on a team basis, that y'all certain when y'all maybe focus a little bit more on?
All 10.
Well, how I put it, just whatever game ahead of us, one game at a time, take one step. No matter what team we play, we're gonna do our best.
Coach, do you embrace the expectation of what's the expectation is over in Lee and Carver County, the tradition and history that program has had?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Their expectations is to win the region and compete for state championships every year.
Coach, how do you feel that your team, stacks up again when it comes to the competition level in such a tough region? Talk to everybody. It seems like everybody's got a tough region, so we'll focus on your region today.
I feel like we stack up well. We're athletic and we got good sides. We're just going to have a lot of guys with first-year experience, but they'll get better game by game. But I feel like we stack up well.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, it's kind of like riding a bike. 2 years ago when I hired in at Shoals Christian, I was about a week behind when I hired in at Culver Heights. So familiar with the situation. As I mentioned earlier, in an interview outside, my wife likes to remind me that short time period takes away a lot of your freedom of choice. So in a way it's a negative, but in a way it's positive because it streamlines everything for you and you can only focus on the basics. So we're fortunate enough that Coach Justin Spann, who I've coached with before, had hired in May. So he's very familiar with some of the things we like to do offensively and defensively. So there was a jump start there in the summer on some of those things, some of those philosophies we share together. So I kind of got a little bit of a head start even though I came in late.
Coach B, this is your second head coaching job, but you've been assistant at Mars Hill. How has that experience helped you build a resume so far going into your second head coaching job?
Well, experience is a lot, just like in the business world. It's not just your experience, but it's how you can parlay it. So saw a lot of great things at Mars Hill, saw that program from the very beginning all the way up until, playing for 3 championships in a row, 4 semifinals in a row, so you get a lot of extra football in that. And you learn to just stay humble. You see coaches come and go from your experiences, but you have to stay humble. You have to keep your nose down to the grindstone, and that's probably the biggest thing I've learned. It's not always what it looks like from the outside. Shoals Christian was a great opportunity for me to be a head coach and an athletic director. You're kind of able to open the curtain a little bit and see what it's like to run a true program all the way, a whole athletic program and the football program as well. And when you're doing all that, it helps in tough times like this.
For the players, what's been the toughest part so far about having a new coach come in just late in the summer?
I mean, it's been real tough. Since our old coach left, the toughest part has really just been getting to know the coaches. But, other than that, they've really done a great job of coming in and just pushing us to be the best we can, and just discipline is their main thing, and they've just done a great job coming in this late in the summer and just really pushing us like they do.
I'd say losing Jeffries was very hard on us. We've had him since our freshman year. But I think Coach Vic's done a great job getting the ground running, and he's fit in very well here.
I guess just the changes the new coaching staff brings, the challenges, the just ways they do stuff. Like he said, Jeffrey's leaving was harder on us, but I think this new coaching staff will get us through it.
I think the hardest part was adapting to the new head coach, but I think the way he coaches is going to benefit us.
Coach, one thing's for sure, you keep calling him Mr. Acom, and you call me Tracy. Okay? I like that. I can say one thing, Coach Vic is a winner, and Coach, that there's always this old saying when somebody goes to play in Auburn Heights, they say we got to go up on the mountain. So restoring that, people just do not want to come on. How important is that to you in this program?
Well, it's very important. First of all, there's a lot of pride in being on the mountain. I heard that so many times in the welcome to the mountain. It's a special place. And I think these guys will attest what I tell you the first day. We may not win every game, but these people are going to know they've been in a fight when they leave us. And win or lose, they're going to respect us for our effort and our intensity. And we won't quit and we won't back down. And we're not going to tolerate it. I think they know it. We asked them when we came in. Somebody said, how is it that you adapt? And to your point, you say, all right, guys, what do you expect out of this season? And when they say, hey, we want to win, it takes the choices out of it. there's only so many choices, and there's only such a standard if you want to win. And there's the right way to do things, and that made it easy for us. When we're all in agreement we want to win, then everybody knows, hey, it's not personal. It's just what we've got to do to get the results we want.
Coach, in game one, you played Cherokee, a team you played with, a team you coached at Shoals Christian twice. Shoals Christian has beat Cherokee 6 years in a row now. Culver Heights has beat Cherokee every year since '03, and that's scattered like 15 or so times. But how does it feel playing in a familiar opponent week one? You're not going to have to play somebody new necessarily as far as like the opponent wise.
Well, these games the football is shaped funny, I'll say that. It can bounce a lot of funny ways and do a lot of things. These guys know I put zero stock in who we beat before, how many times we beat them. I don't fear anybody that we play. I respect everybody that we play. And I'm trying to get that. That's kind of maybe the attitude I want our guys to have is it doesn't matter who lines up across from them. We're going to respect you, but we're not going to fear you. We're going to play hard and compete. And any team can beat another team on a given day. I think we won a game last year we shouldn't have won, and some of that has to do with injury and other things. So you never know what it looks like week one. So we're not going to underestimate anybody. We'll go in fresh and get after them.
This is another question for the players. Not every team has so many different county opponents on the schedule. What's it like to have so many different teams in the county that you've got history with to play in one single season? What's that?
I like it, in my personal opinion, because then you get a bunch of different looks, especially every year that we've played them. It's always probably something different, but I enjoy it.
It's just fun knowing that you're probably going to play the same people every year, and you're going to know what's going to come from the coaching staff and the players.
I think it's good knowing who we're playing. I like the big rivalries we have, especially with Colbert County. They got some good kids down there.
I enjoy it personally just because playing so many people from so many different counties just gives you multiple looks at how people play, and it just makes you get better at playing against those kinds of teams, just each kind of way that teams play.
Talking about the schedule, y'all have a very favorable open to the schedule before the season gets over in October with Culver County, Rogers, Morrisville, and Lauderdale County. How important is a quick, fast start this year for this season?
I think it's extremely important. I told our guys, again, like I said earlier, you can't look at who you beat before. We started off 4-0 last year. We ended up 0-6 on the second half. Had some unfortunate injuries and some other things going on there. I think Coach Jeffries did a great job with those guys, and I told them our goal is to finish strong, but we've got to start strong to finish strong. So we're going to take it a week at a time from a coach's perspective. We're not going to overlook anybody. We're going to start everything fresh with a new coaching staff. We've got so many new things to learn and implement that it's going to be different. These guys were with Coach Jeffries for several years, and that time has paid off. Now it's up to us to make haste and make the best of our time. So I don't know how the players feel about it, but from a coaching standpoint, that's how we look. You guys want to add anything?
I feel like a strong start's definitely important, but it's just like he said, we started off 4-0 last year and then just went 0-6 the end of the season. I plan to play every single game like it's our first game, and we're wanting to get a good start. And I plan to play every single game with the same intensity.
To the players, how was that last year starting off 4-0, having that hot start? How was the hallways over those 4 or 5 weeks there where y'all are good so far, 4-0, everybody's up and ready for the season?
It was it definitely opened our eyes the first 4 games, because we came out, we worked real hard at the beginning of the year, and then we come out and we win every game, and then we come into week 5 thinking that, okay, I think we got a little bit too ahead of ourselves, and so we started thinking, okay, we're 4-0, we're not going to lose, and then we just got too cocky, I reckon.
I say kind of like he said, we got too ahead of ourselves. We slugged off. We didn't try.
I think starting off 4-0 was good for us. A lot of hype in the school, especially the previous season going 1-9. But I think that 4-0 start definitely got to our heads going into week 5, and we just took a hammer shot.
They pretty much said it. Going 4-0 was great and everything, it was great being those people to walk the halls, knowing that you're part of that 4-0. But I just feel like we got ahead of ourselves and we just felt unbeatable, and we just finally got humbled at the end of the season.
What's the funniest thing the coach has ever yelled at y'all during practice?
During practice or in a game?
Well, either.
Well, I remember Falkville. We went into the locker room, and Coach Robinson last year, one of our players cut on quarterback sneak, and of course that didn't really make Coach Robinson very happy, and he kind of yelled at him for that, and we've never let the player that done that live that down.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. There's been a bunch of times. I mean, at practice and everything. I'd say most of the times when we'll poke fun or run up to coach and like tap on him and stuff, and he'll shove back and just make us laugh a little bit. That's always been fun to me. Anybody else? You got anything?
Don't be scared.
For you, what's the strangest thing anybody has ever given as an excuse for being late?
Wow. That's a great question. Great. That's probably the best question I've been asked in a long time. Let me think through this. She stumped me. I'm thinking back through all the years here. We've had some good ones. Obviously, you get your coach, I was sick. Coach, I had a dentist appointment. One guy said he had to go get, instead of saying he had to go get a haircut, he said he had a hair appointment, which everybody teased him about for a while. A little bit longer hair there, so a different kind of haircut. So that was a good one. I had the old Tommy Boy bees excuse before, where coach, got bees in the car, had to get out and run around. I'm scared to death of wasps. So heard that one once. That was a really good one. That was probably from my first 2 or 3 years at Mars Hill. So that one always sticks with me a little bit.
Hey, appreciate you having us. Appreciate you coming out. To my left, Jay Murner, returning starter, tight end, linebacker, long snapper extraordinaire. He broke his leg halfway through the year, coming back this year, excited about what he brings to the table. Kendrick Gunn finished the year for us as starter at running back, started all the games last year at safety, will be a junior. Brady McKinney, our lone senior up here. Brady's been starting for quite a while, comes back as a receiver, kickoff return specialist. And then Warner Johnson played safety for the last 2 years. He's a returning junior, returning starter, and we're going to move him to outside backer this year. Excited about these 4 guys and their leadership and what they can mean and hopefully prove in this 25 season.
Hey, Coach, how much more encouraged are you with where your program is at relative to year one for you?
Year one, we kind of had to blow it up, start over, kind of impress a new identity, a new philosophy. Not too much different from where we are. We're coming off a 6-4 season, missed the playoffs for third time in 40 years. That's not really acceptable in Deshler lore. So this group right here understands that. This group has a lot of Deshler blood in them. Their parents have played for Deshler. Okay, so coming into the year, we knew what we had to do, what was acceptable, what the standard was. And we've told them since we started this thing is don't chase success, chase the standard. You can be 12-0, 12-1, and not be really good. You can hide some things, but if you're always trying to chase that standard, and the standard is what it is at Deshler, win with class, character, discipline, have to be perfect, okay? Strive for perfection. If you're chasing that and you ultimately can get that, then you've got a chance to be really good.
Let me start real quick with Jay. Jay, and then the other guys fill in. Tell me a little bit about that special community y'all have that supports the Tigers.
The Tiger community is something like no other. I mean, it's awesome. When you go out in town and you have Deshler across your chest, you're going to see somebody and say something to you, whether it's good, bad. It's usually good, hopefully. But it's just awesome to be around those kind of people always. So.
At Deshler, you'll always have somebody next to you to pick you up
if you ever down and like if you ever need help.
Yeah, around the community, it's just, if you have a Dessler shirt on, I mean, you can just walk through downtown and you'll have a couple people ask you, what grade are you in? Like position do you play? All types of things like that.
You know, the Dessler community is just really special. They all support everything Dessler athletics, Dessler the school. They're just, everybody in Tuscaloosa is all Dessler, and I think that's great.
That is, Bill, and I'll piggyback off that. Part of being at Dessler and the special things that Dessler offers is exactly what these guys say. But also, if we put a Dessler shirt on you, you represent a whole lot more than just yourself. All right? It's your family. It's what's in our locker room. It's the community. It's the school. So the first time you step out of line, they're going to say, oh, look at that Dessler football player. So they understand that. They understand the expectations. They understand the responsibility of playing football at Dessler. It's unreal. It's unlike any other place. And I joked several times before I got to Dessler. You know, the people in Tuscumbia think Dessler, it may be the second best job in the state, with Alabama and Auburn, depending on who you pull for, being number one. And, you know, I grew up in Tuscumbia, graduated from Dessler, played at Dessler, so I kind of have that feel. But our community is constantly wanting to push the envelope and support Dessler athletics, the Dessler High School, all the things that are around Dessler. And you'll see that come fall. You know, we've made some additions to the stadium, a historic stadium. To me, it's iconic. It's legendary. Things happen on Friday nights in Howard Chapel Stadium that you can't explain. That ball always finds a way to bounce a certain way. You know, except game 10 last year when we were a yard and a half short. But outside of that, it's a very special, special place.
Coach, I've had the opportunity to come and sit down and talk to you, the passion that you show, the passion that the town shows, the history, the tradition, the standard that you talk about. Good Lord, how many cups of coffee does it take to drink during a game with you?
Oh, you know, when you walk in, and I get there before everybody, and that sun's coming up over that water tower that's over the stadium that says Dessler Tigers, and you turn around and you see 40-plus playoff appearances, 27 region championships, 11 state title appearances. All right, that's all the motivation you need. Now, then you look to the left of that sign where it says 11 state title appearances, and you said the last championship we won is 99. All right, driving force every day. We want these boys to experience that. All right, I was fortunate enough to play on a great team that was able to win that. And a lot of these guys, 3 of the 4 played on the baseball state championship that we just won here. And hopefully they're going to bring some of that competitive edge, that thirst, that desire over into our locker room and push us to be able to reach those goals.
Talk about that playoff experience that your guys have in baseball last year and in basketball 2 years ago. Bring that in the locker room now as seniors and juniors. How does that feel to have that experience in the playoffs and in big games, big moments?
Right. I think 7 of the 9 baseball starters, and then you've got some contributing role players play football. So when those guys come over and they've been through those, you know, the Etowah games, the Haleville games where they're down 0-1 in a best of 3, they've got to rally and they've got to find a way. You know, when you get to the playoffs, and it's unreal in baseball because you play all those games and then the area is what decides your season. But when you get to the playoffs and it's every pitch matters, every at-bat matters, everything matters. And so when you take that over to football, and football is a larger sample size because we're in a 9-team region, and you've got those region games that kind of piggyback off each other, but they understand the pressure that entails. And so hopefully going into this year, those guys will have a leveling hand, steady hand in that locker room.
Coach, I got a quick question, both for y'all and the players. Just, y'all open up the season with Russell. I think that's like we're nearing the 100.
Yes.
What does it mean to the team and to the community? What does that rivalry mean to those schools?
Well, I think it's a staple. It's all right, football's here. Us not being in the same region, same classification, you know, it does not impact playoffs, and you know, unless there's a tiebreaker down the road. But it's a good measuring stick to start the year off. And then we accompany that on the front end with Mars Hill and the Jamboree. But Russell's a proud community, very similar to ours. Okay, and I think we're at 97, 98 meeting, something like that. Games between Dessler and Russell have kind of gone back and forth. I think it's, you know, 47, 46. Some breakdown is who's got the edge. But they've gotten us the last 2 years. Coach Goodwin does a really good job. That community supports them just like our community supports us. So good measuring stick for us right out of the gate. They're a prideful program, and we've got a lot to prove this year. They're coming to our place. I haven't been to Deshler in 2 years, so we're excited to host them. And I'll let these guys take that question too.
It's always been great. I've grown up with playing Russellville and everything, basketball, baseball, softball, everything. It's always been competitive in everything. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're playing chess. It's going to be competitive, and it's always like that, and it's great.
It's always good to play Russellville in basketball and football. It's always going to go back and forth, but I see we're going to beat them this year.
Yeah, it's always been not really a rivalry game, but it's a pretty intense game for us, especially opening up the season with a really good team. But yeah, hopefully we'll get them this year.
I think Russell's a great team. They got a good football team, and they're a higher classification than us, but that doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're going to line up and play football with whoever lines up on the other side.
Coach, you start this season with a new offensive coordinator. Now, new coach has been with the Deshler program for a few years now. Lake Spurgeon is really a hot commodity with young coaches around there. What does that mean to have somebody like Coach Spurgeon part of your staff?
Well, I've known Coach Spurgeon for quite some time. We spent some time at Brooks together, and then he came over with us when we came to Deshler. Does a tremendous job. Most importantly about Coach Spurgeon is not the X's and O's, not all of that. It's the relationships behind the scenes. And I think these players will tell you he's going to walk you through what he expects, and then he's going to hold you to that. And that's what coaching is. You know, I've never been around a good coach that wasn't a really great teacher. And so if you can do that in the classroom and then you take that over to the field, then the players understand. Not all players learn the same way, so you've got to have different approaches. And all of these guys have experienced that so far, and hopefully, you know, we can continue our offensive success.
Like you said, talented roster, kind of young, but guys that's played a lot. You know, we expect to, you know, be in every game. You know, you want to win every game. You know, that's everybody. That should be everybody's goal. But we're gonna compete. We're gonna be there. You know, to answer the call to anything that comes our way. You know, I believe in what we're doing. They work hard. They're very hard workers. Do everything we ask, and they're always there. So it's been a pretty good transition as far as that goes. So yeah, I definitely. You know, you want things to go your way. So you know, I'm expecting a pretty good season.
I'm really embracing everything right now. Starting off with him coming in, we've been getting to work, so it's going to be really exciting this year.
I'm really embracing it. I like the workout plan he has for us. It's way better than the one we did last year.
Yeah, it's really embracing because he came in thinking stuff was going to go slow, but it's going fast, and we just got to work harder than everybody else.
I got a question for the players. So, I mean, last year, y'all going into 4A, probably the smallest 4A school in the state, and just managing to make the postseason in a tough region that included Deshler, Brooks. You know, what was that like last year, and what are some of the things that y'all are doing this year that y'all think will help get y'all back to the postseason?
It's just, it felt great last year with everybody doubting us going into 4A, but we just had to put in a lot of work to get as far as we did. And then this year, we're putting in a lot more work than we ever have before. So we just got to stick together and be a team and push as far as we can go.
Talk about that Deshler game last season. What was that like for y'all, as dominant as Deshler has been in 4A throughout the history?
It felt great. It was just another game, but we got to treat every game the same. And we just came out ready to play.
Coach, I got a question for you. You have great leadership on the team like Tayshawn, who was the first and sole player of the week last year. What's it like going to be your first season at a new school to have leadership like that?
Well, knowing you're going into a school with a, you know, especially a quarterback with that much talent, it eases it a little bit. You know, you get your main, which he, you know, is one of our main guys. You get your main guys to coach the other guys up. You know, like we had a discussion, you know, as far as, routes and stuff, give it to guys out to practice. And that's stuff he liked to do, you know, hard worker. Knowing that I had him coming in, you know, that definitely, you know, helped me as far as, hey, you know I can do certain things with him on the offense and, you know, be successful with it. So that definitely helped a lot.
Coach, I know this is your first year here at Hatton. You know, how has that transition been? Has it been smooth for the most part? And what area of the team do you think has grown the most so far in the summer?
What was the second question?
Is there a specific position group, or is there an area maybe whether it's locker room culture or weight room that you've seen the team improve since the start of the summer?
Well, we got a coach, Coach Moose from, he was at Ardmore, and he's working the O-line pretty hard. We're seeing a big jump from them as far as film we watched last year. Kind of felt that there was a weaker area of the team, and it's been a big jump there. And then, you know, our running backs, we got a special group of running backs. It's four that like really can, you know, play high level as far as like running the ball. They can play it, you know, run it at a high level. I think the running backs right now, as far as just getting things down, it's like today they look very, you know, very good. So I think that's an area that we really are stepping up as far as a unit.
Coach, what are some of the biggest things you learned at Decatur Heritage that you think will help you be a head coach here at Hatton?
Patience. And I've always said that just knowing that, you know, things don't always go the way you want them to go. Things always change. And, you know, just figuring these guys out. You know, me and Ryan actually had a conversation at our 7-on-7, just little things that, you know, we got to learn from each other, you know, and having the patience to, you know, if I need something changed, to know, hey, you know, maybe they, you know, done something different. So, you know, I got to give them time to adapt to things that, you know, the way I want it to be done.
For the players, how does it feel to have a coach who has played on the highest level, high school-wise, college-wise at Alabama, and knowing that he's been in your footsteps and you have an opportunity to kind of do the same thing because he knows what it takes to get you there?
It feels great, definitely knowing that he played at a higher level and the energy he brings every day to practices and 7-on-7. The players feed off of it a good bit, so it helps us out all the way around.
Any individual or team goals that you set for yourself or the team this year that you'd like to share?
Y'all speak.
I say going to the playoffs and farther.
I was just kidding. Probably just making it past the first round, making it deeper in the playoffs was the goal.
Talking about playoffs, Coach, you at Decatur Heritage, y'all played Mars Hill. Don't think it was this past season. It was season before beating them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
No, not Mars Hill. No. We were 1A 2 years ago.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay, there. Okay. Very historic football program that's been really good. Hatton has made playoffs this last 3 seasons. What are the expectations for this season?
Just work hard and, you know, work on us. You know, we know it's a different opponent, but do better than you did the last practice, last game. We got a motto, +1. Just always go that next step. And if we can do something just 1% better than the other team, I feel that, you know, we can pull out these games. You know, of course, everybody want to make the playoffs. So, you know, that's our goal, eye in the playoffs and trying to, you know, make a run, especially with this great group of senior guys. We got some really good guys that I would like to see them, you know, make a run, you know, as they last go around.
With that motto of +1, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. We ain't ever had a motto like that. It means a lot to just the players of taking that extra step and being better each day after practice, coming in the next day and being better than you was the day before.
Coach, you've got, I guess you could say, a bye during week 0 before you hop into action against, you know, Deschler and then Brooks. How much will having week 0 off really kind of help prepare you guys as you get ready for not only the beginning of your season, but the beginning of a tough region play?
Well, it helps because you get to, you know, you get to see that opponent and of course, all coaches, if you get the chance, you go watch that game and figure out some things you want to do. Far as going into that game. So I think that week, even though I like week 10 off or week 5, it don't bother me, but it gives you that extra week to prepare for what because they might do something different than last year. So that'll help out as far as that goes.
Name's Brett Voss. Was recently last year at Decatur High School. Originally from Speak High School, which is no longer a high school now. Transitioned to Lawrence County High School back in 2010 or 2009. I actually was at Lawrence County during my student internship in 2010, helping, and then once I finished my degree, moved on and was at a different school for 13 years. Had a great run there, and transitioned last year to Decatur High School and Decatur City Schools. Had a great time there with Coach Ritter again, who I was with for 6 years, and this opportunity came calling, and it just couldn't say no. Every day I get confirmation I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I got a great group of kids. I'll let them introduce themselves, but I'm excited about where I'm at, excited about the season, but I'm excited about this group. I've got a great senior group, and I'll get more into them later on after they introduce themselves.
My name's Christian Graham.
Jack Bull. I play quarterback and safety.
I'm Lawson Terry, and I play wide receiver and corner.
Questions?
Coach, area played this season. I know Fairview's replacing a lot of seniors off of last year's team, and they won that area. Russell's rebuilding off of last season as well, losing a good bit due to graduation. So what does area play look like in your first year?
I don't really have the luxury to analyze everybody else's roster, say like the media does. I'm trying to learn my roster, learn what we can do best. I know it's coach speak, but it's just the truth. I'm focusing on our roster, figuring out what we do best, and so put ourselves in the best situation for when we get to area play. Now, once we get to area play, of course, we'll film study. We'll find out, where we need to attack and all that. But I haven't even looked that far ahead just to see who lost what, who's returning what, besides my roster. I know I had 18 seniors on last year's roster, so I'm trying to fill holes on my own roster and just figure out, where my kids need to be and give them the best chance to be successful when we do get to area play or region play.
Another question, Coach. I know you were at Russellville with Coach Ritter. You ready for that matchup, getting to come back home?
Well, I wish Coach Ritter was there and I was going against him. I could talk a little crap to him, but no, it's just, I'm not going to shy away from it. When I took this job, first interview I did 2 days after getting board approved, it was one of the questions that was asked. I know it's going to be asked. To me, it's what makes high school football great. I'm not going to, like I said, shy away from it. It's something there. It's going to be a little extra that week, absolutely. That's what makes it fun. That's why you do what you do. So I'm not going to pretend it's just another week, because it won't be another week. But we're going to have to treat it when it gets here as another week if we want to be successful.
Hey guys, I've got one for the three of y'all. How would you like to be remembered when you take off that jersey for the final time?
That's a good one.
I would love to be known as a leader for the future generation, because I feel like the class in front of me, they established like a culture, for us to look after, and I want to do that for the classes behind me.
I want to be left known as a leader also, and be left known as like a good person, and who was a good leader, and who was highly spoken, and just a good guy. Yeah.
I think I just want to be remembered as just a leader. That's it, really.
I can piggyback off that. They're not just giving you cliche talk. I had the seniors come into my office. There's 5 right now, and I told them this was 3 weeks ago, I wanted a list of goals. And I told them I wanted realistic goals. If they come in here with a sheet of paper that said 15-0 in the state championship, I'd probably wad it up and throw it away. Because I tell them every day, I'm fully transparent with them. I'm not gonna, blow smoke up their tail and all that. We're not there. We're not ready. Not saying we won't get there this year, but at this stage, we're not ready. So I want realistic goals of what they want to get out of their senior year and things they want to accomplish within their senior year. And when I say it was a set of the most selfless goals I've ever received or read, I printed them off and shared it with my staff the next day at our staff meeting, just give them a little insight of, I know we lost a big senior group last year, but man, we've got a special one this year. And I've got chills sitting up here just thinking about reading some of them, and every one of those, it was some form of leadership is what they want to accomplish.
Coach, I got a question for both you and the players. For you, you've been an assistant and a coordinator for several years. What is it like transitioning and being a head coach for the first time? And then for the players, what is it like to have Coach Voss come in, and what has he been like, and how has he helped the team overall since he's come on board?
So to answer yours, I'll answer in a little bit of a jokingly serious way. I'm 1-0 as a head coach, so this ain't the first time. Back in 2021, Coach Ritter had COVID and was out for the Deschler game. I was actually here in Florence at a PD, and he called me at 8 o'clock that morning and said he just tested positive to get my butt back. And because we had a touchdown club meeting at lunch that we go over film and stuff, so we ended up winning that game. So I joked in my interview with him, I'm 1-0 as a head coach and whatnot. So, but in all seriousness, it's been great, but it's been different. It's just you remember the things when you're an assistant. Now that you're a head coach, you start looking at, well, now I see why Coach Ritter did this, or now I see why previous head coaches did this. When I was sitting there as an assistant, I'm like, good Lord, would he just give us a break? Like, why is he doing this? Why? So when you sit in that seat, you look at things from a different perspective. With that being said, I try to always remember how I felt in certain situations. I told my assistant coaches and players too, my goal is to, at the end of the season, whether that be week 15 or week 10, whenever our season ends, I want our coaches and our players to want to have came back the next week. I don't want the sense of relief that it's over. I'll just be fully transparent. This is my 22nd season, so out of the previous 21, probably 2 of them, I wanted to come back the next week. The other 19, it was probably just some form or sense of relief because it's a grind. So I try to remember that. Now I'm in this role to, help give my coaches time away, not just dominate their time, give them time with their family. So when it does end, that they want to come back. So that's the biggest difference for me, is just realizing why certain head coaches did certain things when I was questioned as an assistant, but also trying to remember so I can use that information to help better our staff and our program.
Question here for the players. He mentioned it earlier, leadership. Now some of y'all are getting into those roles. Think back to, it could be when you're playing Pee Wee, it could be playing junior high, it could be something even last year. Think of another player, maybe, that's been kind of a leadership role to you when you were playing at a younger age.
Last year in the couple years, we had this guy named Ryder McGregory. He would barely talk, but he would show his leadership out of the way he would play, and he would barely speak, but his leadership was shown out of how he would be a dog on the field and in practice, and he would always give it his full. And he was 100% every single day, practice and game time, and he didn't have to say a word, but he was always the biggest leader.
I'd say for me, probably this is a couple years past, but my older cousin, Ty Hutto, he played quarterback at Lawrence County, and he graduated in 2020, and he's been like a role model to me since I was a kid. And I'd also say last year's quarterback, Parker Frost, me and him, I was under him for 3 years, and he just kind of took me under his wing and showed me the way.
I'd say Parker Frost was probably the most influential guy to me, playing under center for him. Just me and him had that great connection. He was just always on time, did whatever needed to be done, and just never asked any questions about it. Just did what needed to be done.
It's funny you should say that. I also do a show with Northwest Shoals every Wednesday, in the morning, and I've had, Parker up here on stage stage last year, I had him on the show, so it's just funny, you never know where, your paths may cross. But Coach, we'll say thank you. Like I said, we've had a great relationship with Lawrence County. We'll continue that, and we'll say thank you so much for coming and your players.
Thank you. Thank y'all for everything you do, just the exposure you give not only my kids, but just kids across the state. And just, without y'all, I remember when I was a kid waking up, just reading the article, just looking for my name in the paper. So I hope y'all realize, how big of an impact y'all make on these kids' lives, and we really do appreciate y'all.
Ezra Fowler, slot back, receiver. Cade Clemens, quarterback. Maury Johnson, defensive end. And Keave Foster, free safety.
Coach, what was it like to be going into an 18th season at the same school? Because that's not something that happens with many coaches.
Yeah, just really humbled and blessed that, we've been fortunate enough to win a couple of games where they hadn't run me off yet. But, so, there's always tomorrow. So, you just try to live in the moment. And, I've said this a million times, just blessed to have a great community and great kids and great coaches.
Coach, like you said, you've won several games over the last couple of years and been deep in the playoffs a couple of times. And, obviously the ultimate goal is that state title. What does it take to not only continue the work that you've done at Muscle Shoals and the wins that you've got, but go that one step further?
Well, I think it all comes down to, obviously staying healthy. And then, when you get in the semifinals and quarterfinals down with some of the teams that we play, the numbers, disparity in the numbers, they're larger 6A schools. And, you got to have some breaks go your way. We've been close a couple of times. I think, 3 years ago in the semifinals, we'd lost our quarterback on the second drive. And, there's things like that seem to happen. Last year at Parker, down on the one, we made a crucial error on a chop block there. And then, just some other things, through the course of the game, didn't turn out real well for us. And, at the end of the day, it's my 30th year coaching. Sometimes teams are just better than you. And, you got to tip your hat and go back to work and tee it up again and try to do your best.
Coach, Marshall Shoals never been past the second round 4 straight years in program history. Y'all been to the third round deep for 3 straight years. What is the next step for y'all in that third round, fourth round, fifth round again?
Well, I think 3 years ago was in the semifinals and got beat by Mountain Brook. Yeah, it's just like I just said. You have to be blessed to stay healthy, and you just got to keep working. And it's if I knew the secret of it, I could tell you, but I really don't. I've been blessed to be there and win one. I've been there and lost them, and been close several times. And it just comes down to crucial moments in the game. And the margin of error is so small in those moments.
Coach, we just heard about the tradition at Deshler, because Deshler was before y'all. How have you been so successful for so long? Because Muscle Shoals is the top program here in North Alabama, in my opinion, not only just in 6A, but in the entire state of Alabama. Won a bunch of national championships or state championships and been there. Not only when you were in 5A, but now being in 6A. So what has been the recipe for y'all's success for almost 20 years?
I think, the continuity of our staff together. These guys, they know there's no off days. They come to work every day, and they're just really good human beings. And obviously, good Lord's blessed us. But, and I'm not just saying this. I just think we work so hard, and we never take off, and we've been blessed to stay healthy. And I'm just real humbled that I've been allowed to be a part of a program that's been that successful.
For the players, what is it about that
I'll go first. I just think that all of our fans, and Hartselle has a bunch of fans, they all show up. It's a good atmosphere, and it's really competitive with Hartselle. You know, they're always our biggest test, and it's always the most fun game in the season.
I feel like it's the most like best competition, I guess, like in 6A, and I just feel like it's a good game to, like what Ezra said, to see where we're at and just to progress before the playoffs. And I think it's just a great atmosphere, like Ezra said.
I say they're definitely one of the best teams in our region, and every time we play them, you just know you're finna play a physical team. So I just say like seeing where we at, and like I said, they're very physical. So we got to get ready by that week and everything else. So I say that's it.
Like what Maury said, that's a really big game of the season, really physical team. So when we come to play them, is see where we at in the season and see what we can get.
Coach, I got a quick question for you. You know, they say iron sharpens iron. How does your schedule prepare you? I know y'all got a non-region game in Florence, and y'all got obviously Hartselle. How does y'all schedule prepare you in making those state playoffs?
Well, I think that, we open up with Gadsden City, they're always real athletic. Coach Smith does a great job over there, so that's a test right out of the gate. And then, obviously playing Florence and Coach Morrison and what they've been able to accomplish over the past couple of years, it sort of prepares us to getting into the region. And then, I think in our region, you better come to play every week because not a knock on anybody else, but I think our region has some top-tier coaches, and they do a really great job, and you better be prepared week in and week out, and our guys know that, you can't take anything for granted. And then, we end the season playing Austin, and Coach Perkins always has his team ready, and it's just really a good test for us going into the playoffs. And I just think you got to play great competition. I think a lot of young coaches today are trying to schedule too many wins, and at the end of the day, that's what's going to get you beat. So, I try to find guys that'll play us that are going to challenge us and make us better.
Question here for the players. Got a lot of teams here. We've got a lot of teams having first-year coaches. For the most part, most of your life, for most places probably been born coach, been the head coach there. So you know what the consistency is and what he expects even at the junior high level. So just as a player, knowing that you've had the same coach, from pretty much your whole life being the head coach there, what does that mean to y'all?
I just feel like it's a blessing because, just Coach Bazin, each and every day, he works us so hard just to be the best we can be. And, he highly speaks about his faith and just that we need to, just how to walk with God and just our faithful adventure throughout life.
I just feel like Coach Bazin, like he said, we are very blessed to have him because every day in practice he gonna push us, and it's just different being under a successful coach. He gonna make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do, even if you don't feel like it, and just make you thrive every day.
I say it's pretty good to have Coach Bazin coaching us because he done been here for so long. He done been to every stage, and I just say he know what it takes for us to get to the next level. And he'll push us every day, make us strive to be great.
I think that it's great to have Coach Bazin as our head coach because, it's really fun to just be in the program, just being there every day and just work hard and get better. And like Cade said, it's not all about winning with him. It's a lot about our relationship with God.
Coach, I'm going to piggyback off that. The same exact question. Good question, Josh. You've heard the impact that you're making on these players. Can you explain to us the impact the players are making on you?
Everything. I'm 50, I think 3 years old now, but I still feel like I'm 20. I just have a good time, and I cut up with him. Maury, he's been working on his pass rush against me, and You know, I just tell him I'd like to turn back the clock because I'd cut him. I wouldn't block him, but I'd knock him on his rear end. And, you know, they inspire me every day. But like I said, you know, football is great. It really is. It's blessed me to do a lot of things in my life. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to end. And there's bigger things that I want them to accomplish than, you know, winning some silly game. I want them to win in the game of life, and to me, that's more important than anything. You know, we talk about state championships and all that, and you know, I've been blessed to win them and win national championships, and you know, I don't wear those rings. I can tell you where they're at, but they really mean nothing. You know, and I've got some great friends that's won 5 and 6 state championships, and then when they get out for 10, 15 years, nobody remembers who they are. So I think the everlasting impact is far bigger than a football game, because, you know, there's going to be a guy 10 years from now coaching at Muscle Shoals that I'll just be a distant memory, but I always want to have an impact on them.
Coach, I want to ask you this, as far as talking about impact, Walker and Faith made an announcement this week.
Yeah.
Looks like congratulations in order. What's your game plan on being a football?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little new for me. I'll have to get back with you on that answer. So I don't know. I was thinking about, you know, maybe one day retiring and not having to go to a game on Friday night. But I guess if I got a little cheerleader or a little boy, I'll have to watch him. And I don't know. You know, you get to this stage in your life, you want to relax with Miss Millie and enjoy it. But I'm sure I'll have to keep that baby as long as it's healthy. That'd be fine.
Introduce yourself, introduce the players, we'll take questions, okay?
My name's Michael Parker. He's right. This is my first year as a head coach at Sheffield. I came in last year and took over the offense, so I was the offense coordinator last year. Came from Clements High School, where I was head coach there for 6 years. This is my 25th year of doing this, so and it never gets old. You know, I love it. So to my left here is Navi Dassart, James Drumgood, Bryant Dahl, and Aiden Dalton. These are all seniors and what I consider the strongest leaders that we have on the football team right now. They work good as a unit, and can't ask them to do anything more than what they're doing. Never hear a complaint out of them. They're just ready to go to work. You know, we went through some tough drills this morning, so I wasn't going to kill them at football practice. And we went out and we went through some formations and made sure we understood some plays. And after that, they said, "Coach, can we run some routes now?" So told me we're getting in shape because the Army liked to kill them this morning. So, but that's where we're at right now.
All right, Coach, tell me about some of the things you've been working on this summer to get ready for the upcoming season.
We're working on us. We're trying to get a better unity, and it's coming together. I think if we can fix us, if we can fix Sheffield, we'll have a good chance at competing and winning football games this fall. But when I say us, you know, we're trying to change the culture, and I couldn't ask a better group to do it. We got to continue doing what we're doing, sticking together, and being a football team, and creating a program. I don't just want a football team. I want a Sheffield program, so that we can continue this and lay the foundation early. I mean, right now, so we can go forward with it in the future.
Coach, you was offensive coordinator last year, you mentioned, and averaged 30 points a game. How do you plan to improve on that this season?
It's going to be tough. 30 points a game is a lot. But, I mean, I got my quarterback back, very knowledgeable. He's got a heck of an O-line in front of him. Our skill guys are going to have to step it up. But I think that we can, behind these guys up front, I think we can compete with about anyone on the schedule.
Coach, looking at the schedule, it seems to be favoring us. We've got more important games, I think, at home
I like it. I mean, we have an opportunity to go to do very well in our region and in our non-region games also. Looking forward to opening up with Decatur Heritage. We feel like we owe them one, so we're gonna try to get it back from them. They got to come to our place, so we're looking forward to it. Can't wait to get started.
Coach, speaking of that game last year, that's the first game on the schedule, and I know when Gary and I were doing the games last year, you spoke of culture. We saw a big change in culture from the beginning of the season to the end of the season and the unity of the players. That being said, with Decatur Heritage, and I was talking to some of the young men, last year I thought one of the best backs we saw was that back from Decatur Heritage. He was a very quality running back. I just wondered, is he back? And, or did he graduate? Hopefully he graduated. But,
He is not back. He did not graduate. He left with the coach. The coach left and took several players with him. So they're not, that core group's not back with them. So.
As far as offensive and defense, Coach, I know you were a big part really of both of it, helping Johnny last year, but is there any changes, so to speak, that offensive plans or defensive plans that you're trying to make this year?
Not really. We're just expanding from where we were at the end of last year. We're going to try to expand from that. When I first got there, I was a position coach, and Coach Wright was calling the offense, and I tried to help him with that. But I'm not a wing T guy, so I'm not familiar with it. I don't like it, but I was willing to do whatever he wanted to do to try to help him be successful. And, after the Rogers game, we didn't generate a whole lot of offense. So that's when he called me and told me to take it over. So after we took it over, we had Mars Hill that week, and we stuck with the wing T that week. But during the week, we installed my offense, and these guys caught on to it. We installed one week, we practiced the next week, and we put up 47 points that Friday night. So, with that being said, when this offense got installed, they caught on to it fast, and we averaged 41 points a game after the third week of football. So it was they bit into it. They bought into the program, brought into the process of what we was doing. So I expect to expand off of what we finished up last year. And they're catching on to it. I can't ask them to work any harder than what they are.
Who is your defensive coach?
The defense coordinator is going to be Josh Llewellyn. Josh is a former head coach at Danville and Columbia, and he was I think he's a head baseball coach at Deshler a couple of years there. So he's got a lot of experience there. Got an offensive line coach and the head middle school football coach, John Thompson. Got a lot of experience. He's retired actually and come back out of retirement. So got a lot of help this year. When you got 3 head coaches on staff, that's pretty good staff. So I'm looking forward to it. Josh has been there 6 practices, I think, and we went up to Lawrence County and did an OTA last Thursday, and I felt like we handled them pretty good. So.
Players, once that new offense was installed, how did that shift in the locker room of like y'all could win games, then y'all could score 30, 40 points a night? How did that shift happen at third?
We were just used to it, to be honest with you, because our last coach ran spread. So when he installed it, nothing really changed for real. We were already used to it.
I feel like it gave us players like more of a free range of motion to like be ourselves. The wing tee is more like condensed, and the spread just, it just clicked for us. Going off what he said, our previous head coach had implemented that into our scheme and everything. So it was just easy going off of that.
Kind of piggyback off that question, what kind of confidence has this new offense built for y'all's team? Because game 1, y'all scored 22 points against Decatur Heritage, and then y'all were shut out against Rogers and Mars Hill. So, and then after that, the offense was new offense, and y'all exploded after that. So it seems like a lot of confidence from that moment to the rest of the season just changed y'all's view.
I feel like it wasn't really the offense, really. I feel like it was us as a team. I feel like we weren't really unified at first. There's a lot of there's a lot of things that we would have worked on and that we have worked on, you know, just to come together more and just be a better offense together. So, like, I feel like it really wasn't the plays and stuff like that. It was just our team's chemistry, and we worked on that a lot.
Question here for the players, goals. It could be an individual goal, it could be a team goal, it could be something as simple as a team bonding / saying you've got for the season. So, if any of you set any team or individual goals?
It's just one of mine is just get the young guys ready for next year. You know, get them bought in, get them just ready for the season next year.
Also, make the playoffs.
Yeah, that too for sure.
Coach, this is for both you and the players. Just what is there, I know y'all mentioned locker room culture, but is there an area in which that you think that y'all as a team have grown the most in the 2025 offseason?
No.
I just feel like it's our ability to come together as a team for real. Like as I keep saying, like we weren't unified. Like that's the problem. Like this is a team game, and we have to go off each other's backs. You know, we have to have each other's backs, and we just didn't have it at first. And that was the struggle at the start of the season, and we just had to work on that, and that's what we've been working on. And I feel like we're a stronger team, you know, stronger than we have been. So I feel like that's going to help in the long run.
I feel like, you know, we're working toward a standard. That's what I talk to them all the time about. The standard that we're requiring on the football field has got to carry over into the classroom, in the hallways. These guys have got to be the guys that run that hallway in a positive manner. And they can do that if they'll accept that leadership. They have it in them. I just got to get it out of them and make sure that they're leaders in that hallway. And if a teacher needs help gaining control of her class or his class, whatever, they got help. That's our standard. We want to raise that standard at Sheffield. So that's what we're working on right now is, you know, raising the standards.
A brand new season of Fox 54's First Down Friday Night begins on Friday, August the 22nd on Fox 54 and the Fox 54 Plus app.